Okay, I noticed that Tesla's V4 superchargers are now showing 325 kilowatts max, so I decided to drain to 0%. We just barely hit 0%, so it's probably closer to 1% than actually 0. But anyways, let's go ahead and plug in and take a look. I'm going to do a full 0 to 100% test, so if you just want to skip to the end to see how long, you can do that, but keep in mind the charge rate changes a lot. Like, it starts off usually really high and then it goes really low, so I'm hoping it's starting. It says ready to charge. Is it not gonna actually, oh, there you go. Wait, charging stopped. Okay, starting to charge. That scared me. I'm like, is this charger broken now? But here you go. Let's see what the max charge it hits. All right, it turns Sentry mode on its own. Let me see if it's already doing 1%. Okay. I need to set the charge to 100. Okay. So now I set the charge limit to 100. Let's see what happens. Oh man, am I gonna have to hold the phone like this for 1 hour? We're at 90. Come on. If it goes over 260, that alone is already going to be an improvement over what it was doing before. So alright, it did preheat a little bit. I started around 5% to go to this charger, and then I just kept driving in circles to try and get it to 0. So it did preheat for a bit. The last 2% it stopped doing the preheating or preconditioning. Okay, we're getting there. 200, 206. It's climbing pretty fast. 232, 239, 243. Okay, I already feel an improvement. Wow, okay, we're going up. Are we gonna actually hit the 325? Here we go. Well, it says it's gonna take an hour and 15 minutes to reach 100%. The last few percent always takes forever. I wonder how fast the charge curve will drop. We are getting over 300. 318. Now we're charge rate limited by the charging station, it says here. So I guess we're not gonna get 325, but we're pretty close. So 319, oh, it's going slowly. 320, looks like we might have maxed out there. Okay, so that's a lot faster than it did before, but I have a feeling the charge rate is gonna drop relatively fast. You see it's already dropping. So having that 325, I don't know, like, because it's already dropping relatively quick. 311, 300, 309, sorry. I'm curious how fast it will go from 0 to like 80. Actually, I can check by just changing this to 80 and see what it says. 40 minutes, okay. If I change it to 70, 30 minutes. So you can charge from 0 to 70 in about half an hour. What about 0 to 50? 20 minutes. Okay. So there you go. Oops, I don't need to keep the 100. Okay. Let's see, we're still going at 299. Nice. I wonder how fast the curve is gonna drop. So if you see the curve drop below 250, that means you might as well charge at a 250 kilowatt charger. You're not really gonna get much charge speed difference. But yeah, as you can see right now, we're getting 295 kilowatts. I wish it showed what amperage it was charging at, so you can see versus the voltage. But I guess this time we'll see if the cable gets really hot or not. It's a relatively cool day or morning right now, 7:20 a.m., 55 degrees Fahrenheit outside. So I don't know if that will affect anything, but there you go. 292. Let's see. So at what percentage are we going to be only at 250 kilowatts? We already dropped down to 291. So the 325 doesn't hold that long. Let me actually rotate the screen so I can get a more straight view here. There we go. I'm sorry, I forgot my tripod, so I'm just holding the camera here. My arm's probably gonna fall off by the end of this. But you can see we're now at charging speed is now reduced to 282 from 320. Oh, I should probably... How am I going to show the time and everything? Okay. I should have showed the time here. I mean, I'm recording this in real time, so I guess you can figure out what the full time is, but here we go, just in case you want to see all of that. I don't think we really need to see the screen graphic, right? So it's gonna be hard to hold this like that. We're already at 259 kilowatts. I wonder if they're gonna increase the charge rate even higher, but as you can see, it drops so fast. Maybe around 25%. Yep. Only 23%, and we already dropped to 250 kilowatts. So if you're charging from 0 to 23, I guess the charge rate is faster than a 250 kilowatt charger, but beyond that, you're likely going to get less and less. Sorry, this is going to hurt my hand holding the phone like this. See, we're at 242 kilowatts now. So now it's basically charging as if you just use a 250 kilowatt charger. Now how long until we reach the 150 kilowatt? Should have brought the tripod. This is gonna hurt. Now we're at 235, 231. See how quick it drops. I don't know, with the charge rate dropping that fast, it's gonna get people to just like stay at very low charge rate and continue from charger to charger. Like, maybe they'll go until it reaches like 200 kilowatts and then go to the next. $222, $220. 209, 208. $201. Already dropping to 200. I'm curious how warm the charger is right now because it dropped so much. Let's check the charger real quick. But it already lowered its speed. Oh, it's cold. So it didn't get warm at all. I don't know if when it was at 350, but it's not warm at all. So, yeah. 194. See how quickly the charge rate dropped. So even though the chargers can do higher kilowatt charging speeds, it drops pretty quick to maintain the health of the battery. We're already almost down to the 150. So I've been charging, or we started this video about 12 and a half minutes. So close to 10 minutes and you get 37%. So you'll get like at least 35% within 10 minutes. And we're almost dropping down to 150 kilowatt charging rate. But as we get towards the end, the kilowatt charging rate will drop slower. So you can see it's taking longer for it to drop down. We're still above 150. Will it hold that until 50%? Let's see. No, maybe 45. One hour remaining. we're at 150 kilowatts, 45%. So it holds until 45%, then it starts dropping below 150. It's been about 16 minutes since we started the recording, maybe 15 minutes or so since we started charging. So about 15 minutes to get to 45%. And then after that, it's going to keep going slower and slower. This is why when they say the batteries can charge in 5 minutes from 0 to 100, I think it's a lie. Unless you're completely destroying your batteries by pushing that much current for that long amount of time at higher percentages, I don't know. I feel like that's going to be destroying your battery. Tesla's been doing this for a very long time, so they monitor the battery health and kind of know what's good for it and what's going to like degrade it too quick. So you see how quick they drop the charge rate. I'm pretty sure that's not because the battery can't charge faster if they wanted to. I'm pretty sure it's more to preserve the life of the battery so that their battery packs don't die after like 3 years or 5 years or 10 years. They want it to last as long as possible. But yeah. Let's see, 1 hour remaining. So less than 20 minutes for 50%. About 17 minutes or so. But you can see the charge rate is dropping now all the way down to 140, less than half of what we started at. Okay. Still says an hour remaining. What did we start at? I think it said estimated an hour and 10 minutes. So right now the estimate is almost 10 minutes off. It's like looking over here. We're at 51% now. Charge rate 136 kilowatts. So wherever you saw the charge rate at 250 kilowatts, pretty much there's no point going to the 325 kilowatt charger because you're going to be limited by that anyways. So keep that in mind. I forgot what percent it went below that. I think it was relatively quick within the first maybe 23% or something or less. Okay, now it's saying 55 minutes remaining. So the 110 was somewhat optimistic. And usually the last percent from 99 to 100 takes forever. So, yeah. Let's see what happens if I change this to 80 again. How much longer is it going to think? 25 minutes. So within 45 minutes you can go from 0 to 80. Okay, change it back to 100. So that means it thinks it'll take 30 minutes to do the last 20%, which I'm pretty sure it's going to take longer because the last 1% just sits there for a very long time. Unless they change something here, but we'll find out. You can see we're now at 55%, 55 remaining, 128 kilowatts. Five minutes remaining. Looking around back and forth. We're now down to 121 kilowatts. Battery's at 57%. Been charging for about 21 to 22 minutes or so. I don't know how long I took to do the initial talk of what I was doing and plugging it in. You're going to end up doing a sped up version of this in short form and compress it into 3 minutes. We'll see. What's going on? $107 kilowatt charge rate dropped a lot. We're at basically a third of the charge rate we were at originally. Jeez. 61%. 50 minutes remaining. Now down to 100. See how fast the charge rate dropped. Yeah, so while charging, depending how far the next charge stop is, if you're going on a road trip and you're just like trying to go as quick as possible, um, there's really no point to charge at these percentages. Just make it to where you're arriving with like a lower percent and then just charge fast, jump to the next one. It'll make the trip a lot faster. So these charge rates now are kind of slow. But you can see we're at 64%. Minutes remaining. Charge limit 100%, 95 kilowatt. But yeah, you can see how using the really fast superchargers don't make a crazy amount of difference with how quick the percentage drops, or how quick the charge rate drops. You don't really lose too much time even if you charge at a 150 kilowatt charger. If you're sharing the 150 kilowatt charger, I believe those are the V2 chargers. If there's one person at like 1A and another person at 1B, you split that charge rate, so you're only getting 75, which usually I see it's limited to 74. So keep that in mind if you're charging at the V2 superchargers that have a 150 kilowatt max charge rate. Most of the time, if it's busy, you're only going to get 74, 75 kilowatts. So I would aim for at least the 250 kilowatt chargers, unless you're starting your charge already at like 70-80%. But if you're doing that, I don't know why you're doing that, unless you're just topping up your charge to start your trip, or you're resting or something, because as you can see, we're already charging at 91 kilowatts here, 66%. So at any of the superchargers, it'll still be faster than a kind of full V2 supercharger. So use the V3, V4, and the V2, if it's crowded, kind of try and avoid it. But if you need to use one, yeah, try and do it at like a lower percentage so you can get 150 kilowatt charge rate at least, and try and make sure you're not in a stall that's paired. So they'll be like 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B. I believe that's how they do it, yeah. So they're all paired up. With all the newer superchargers, they shouldn't be paired like that. It should just distribute the load between all the chargers. We do have 2 other Teslas charging here now, but that shouldn't be affecting the charge rate anymore. I don't know what the charge rate limit is if all the stalls are maxed out. I don't know if it will allow multiple or all the cars to charge at close to 325 kilowatt. But yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to respond to a message here. Okay, well, it lets me respond and still record. Nice. Okay, we're at 69%, now at 90 kilowatt charge rate. It's been about 30 minutes. So you get to about 70% in 30 minutes from 0. 70%. Yeah, pretty much about 70% in about 30 minutes. I don't know if you completely drain to where the battery's dead and you can't move anymore. Usually the initial charge rate is a lot slower. It like charges in. I'm assuming that's still going to be the same because that's to protect the battery. So yeah, if you were to completely drain it, keep that in mind. It's going to actually take even longer. But if you drained it that far, then that means you probably had to be towed to a supercharger. So obviously that's going to take longer. Yeah, we're down to 90 kilowatts. All right, 7:47 a.m. You can see it's holding 90 kilowatts pretty long. I think it's been at 90 kilowatts for a while. So at what point will 74 kilowatts be? It's holding the 90. Sorry if I'm not recording the right spot. I'm trying to reply to some people. Okay. Still 90 kilowatts, 73%. So 75 will take about 35 minutes or so. Oh, we got another kilowatt charge rate went up. Back down. But yeah, if you're on like a road trip and you're kind of in a hurry, once you get to like this 90 kilowatt, unless you're just wanting to rest a bit, I would just continue on if there's a charger in range. And usually the way I keep track of how much range I have is I go based on the watt hours per mile, and I go by the percentage. So usually I just take note of, okay, the battery's about 123 kilowatt hour, and depending how I drive in this vehicle, I'll get anywhere from like minimum, I'm gonna get at least 2 miles per kilowatt. That's if I'm like just driving crazy or it's super windy or windy roads or whatever. I don't think I would get it below 2 miles per kilowatt unless you're just driving up like some steep hill for a very long time. Oh, now we're charging at 92 kilowatts. It's going up again. So yeah, keep that in mind. That's usually how I keep track of how much range I'll have left. And if I drive like very efficient, very slow, I can get 4, even close to 5 miles per kilowatt here. But I wouldn't do that on the freeway. On the freeway, I would say you'd get freeway speeds, if you're going like about 55 miles an hour or so, at least for me, because I pulled the mirrors off, I got the wheel covers on, I get, I think, over 3 miles per kilowatt. So definitely over 300 miles of range. I forget, I think sometimes I get close to 400. Yeah, I can get close to 400 miles of range if it's like decent weather, no crazy wind, and I'm driving around 55 miles an hour. I can get about almost 400 miles of range on this. But yeah, as you can see, we're now at 94 kilowatts. And it says 35 minutes remaining. Yeah, so going from 0 to 80 looks like it's going to take close to 40 minutes. So if you're trying to get somewhere quick, I don't know, there's not really a point to charge at these slow rates if there's a supercharger like you can jump to within the next 200 miles or so. And if you're driving crazy fast, I guess within the next 150 miles or so. And yeah, the charge rate, it's weird. It went up to 95 kilowatts now. I don't know if there's any point testing this on a slower charger. Obviously, it's going to take longer, but they're slowly upgrading them all to this V4 charger. So, yeah. And I'm not sure if the, what do you call, if the new Model Y is charging any faster. I think I saw it's limited to 250 kilowatt, but that the Model Y is much more efficient and the battery pack's much smaller, so it actually charges pretty quick, even though it has a slower max charge rate. I read somewhere that the record, like, fastest charge rate for the Cybertruck was a little over 400 kilowatt charging speed using like a even faster, I don't remember what they use, like a 500 kilowatt charging station or something, or 600 kilowatt charging station. So I don't know where you get any of those, but yeah, we did hit over, I think, 320 kilowatt for a little bit, but yeah, it does drop quick. So we're at 80% now, and probably took about 38 minutes or so to get there. So within 40 minutes, definitely you'll have over 80%. I don't know if this would really speed up stuff much. I mean, it shaves off maybe like 5 minutes or something at most. I don't know. Versus the 250 kilowatt. At least that's what I think or feel. I did do a video 0 to 100% at those 250 kilowatt chargers. So I guess you can watch that and compare it. But I don't know. They release a lot of updates, so things change over time. Oh, it's finally going below 90 kilowatts. We're at 89. Okay. Let's see here. Not too bad. I know, like, some of you guys are gonna be like, oh, you sat there for like this long? You have to sit there for that long to charge your vehicle? Keep in mind that for most people, if you're using it the way an EV is intended for daily use, you would actually charge at home. Right now I'm using the superchargers just because I get free supercharging until like July 2nd or something. So if I don't have free supercharging, charging here would be more expensive than charging at home. And there are other chargers I can use that are cheaper, but then they're going to be more crowded all the time. But there's one near my house that I sometimes will use, and yeah, that one, it's a lot cheaper than my regular local electricity rate. The only thing with that is I can only leave it plugged in 4 hours at a time. Then I'd basically have to unplug it and plug it back in. Otherwise, I'll be charged like an additional parking fee, which would make it not worth it. So, yeah, there's that. Anyways, 30 minutes remaining. We're at 84% now, charging at 84 kilowatts. So it looks like all the way till whatever you're going to charge at, you'll be okay with the 75 kilowatt, because this never goes below 75 for, I don't know, probably till over 90%. But, yeah. Or it'll be as slow as, I mean, there's no point using the 74 unless your battery's already at like 90%. You're gonna have very slow charging speed. And a lot of people don't know with those older chargers, they're probably just like, why is my charge rate so low? It's 150 kilowatt. And that's pretty much why. I sometimes tell people that because sometimes the chargers are pretty empty, but then they'll park like right next to you and plug in, and then I have to let them know that it's going to charge slower if you plug in over there. And then if they don't care, then depending if it's not really crowded, I'll be like, okay, fine, I'll just move my vehicle to another charger. But yeah, some people I've heard, they'll like lie about it. They'll be like, oh, that charger's disabled, you should go to another one. And then it's like, just tell them the truth, that way they know in the future why, and then they'll know not to park next to another one unless that's the only spot left or something. So anyways, we're at 80 kilowatts now, 86%. Alright. Now it says battery is almost full, charging at the expected rate for present battery energy level. Expect charge rate to slow as battery approaches maximum charging level. And now we're at 77 kilowatt. See it slowing down. $76. Is it going to make it to 90% above 75 or at 75? The fans, like, they're speeding up. Also, I don't have the AC or heater or anything on right now. So if you have that on, it will take a little bit longer to charge, but not really, not much. Oh, we dropped to 74 kilowatts, 88%. So there you can see how much slower the other charger would be if you were to go to a crowded version 2 V2 supercharger. You'd be charging at this rate most of the time, all the way till almost 90%, then it will continue dropping a little. 70. $69. Okay, and realistically, most people won't charge to 100%. Again, unless you're trying to take a nap or something. But keep in mind, you do want to set an alarm, because if you hit 100% and you leave your vehicle, or I guess any of your charge limit, whatever you set your charge limit to, if you hit that and you're taking a nap, keep in mind that if it goes beyond 5 minutes after fully charged, a lot of the charging stations will charge like $1 a minute over if it's kind of crowded. If there's nobody there, then usually it won't charge anything, but if it's like a crowded charging station where other people want to charge, it's going to start charging you $1 a minute just for your vehicle to sit there. So $1 a minute, 60 an hour. Keep that in mind. Now at 90%. My phone just told me the supercharging is almost complete. Basically to tell you might want to go back to your vehicle if you left it, to go unplug it. Give you some time if you're shopping or something to come back. So according to this, 25 minutes remaining. That gives you about half an hour. If you're like out shopping and you were like set it to 80%, and you're like, oh no, I need more time, you could go from the app, change it to 100%, and then you'll have a lot more time. Keep that in mind. And also, like I said, the last 1% usually is going to take forever. So even though it says 25 minutes remaining, I have a feeling the last 1% is going to sit there for quite some time. Give me a second, I'm getting some messages here. Still at 91%. 25 minutes remaining. Wow, okay, so now we dropped to 58, 59 kilowatt, jumping up and down. 58 again. Yeah, these last few percent are going to take forever. The other Model Y just left because I'm being crazy and charging to 100%. Oh, that reminds me, I should plug my phone. Why am I just draining my battery? Okay. %, charging super slow. 53 kilowatts now. Three, 20 minutes remaining for the last 7%. So now we're gonna get 1% every 3 minutes. Or did they estimate for the last 1%? We'll soon find out. %. Let's let some air in here. And some sound. 8:07 a.m. It's been 52 minutes about since I started this video. And we're at 94%. 20 minutes remaining. Sound like a flagpole. Anyways, we're still at 94%. 20 minutes remaining. Charge rate is down to 44 kilowatt now. %. Here we go. So it's doing more than 1% every 3 minutes. So maybe the 20 minutes is going to be that last, including that last 1% that usually takes forever. Ow, my hand's hurting. Been holding the camera in the same spot for over 50 minutes. %, now. $14 minutes remaining. Wow, it jumped down from 20 to 14. Is it going to be accurate? It's dropping relatively quick. I mean, it did initially estimate an hour and 10 minutes. So yeah, if it finishes within 15 minutes, it's definitely within that hour and 10 minutes. I'm pretty sure the 99. So what happens when it's at 99%, if you let it charge a while and unplug it, it's usually going to just show 100%. It's going to jump to 100%. So I'm not sure what it does with that last 1%, that it's just going to be sitting there for a very long time. I guess we'll see if it still does that, but before I would charge at all the way to 100% to test it, and it would show calculating instead of the remaining time, and it would just sit there for a very long time. But you can see we're going now at 39 kilowatts charge rate. All right, going much slower. I mean, this charge rate is still faster than charging at home. I think my home charger is like 11 kilowatts or so. I don't know. I'd have to do the math. Let me see here. Can I do that here? Okay. 48 times. Yeah, I think it's like around 11 kilowatt max that my home charger can do. 60 amp, which means 40 amp charge rate. And yeah, why am I getting so many messages right now? Oh, package has been delivered. Oops, accidentally cleared all my notifications. I didn't mean to do that. Anyways, we're at 97% now. Also, charging to 100% and draining to 0% is not really good for the battery, so keep that in mind. If you're charging to 100% and you're going to use the battery up relatively quick and not leaving it at 100%, then it's not too bad. But yeah, also they do put in some like margin in there, so you're not completely killing or completely draining or completely, I don't know what you want to call it, but oh, here, they're actually showing me now that normally the price would be 37 cents a kilowatt hour, which it changes during peak, off-peak times usually, so I don't know what the rate would be here, but it's not charging me anything because I have free supercharging right now. I hope it's going to tell me how many kilowatts I put into the battery. I don't know. We'll see. I might have to check. Oh, actually it shows right there. I'm dumb. 112 kilowatt hours. Yeah. So again, usually the 100% would be 123 kilowatt hours. So I guess we did have a lot of extra battery charge at from zero, unless the battery degraded that much from me going, how long? 37, almost 30, a little over 36,000 miles. I don't know. Usually the initial battery degradation, it loses quite a bit from when you first get the vehicle brand new. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Then the curve kind of flattens out and it doesn't lose its max capacity as quick. Right, we're at 98%. It says 7 minutes left. So according to that, definitely less than an hour and 10 minutes by a minute or so. Actually, yeah, actually by quite a bit more. That's what, by 4 minutes. Again, but nobody's going to be charging 0 to 100% as like a daily thing, or even on road trips. You're probably not going to be charging 0 to 100% very often. I did a long road trip. I think it was about 18,000 miles, visiting every state capital in the US except for Alaska and Hawaii for somewhat obvious reasons. And yeah, I mean, I did charge to 100% a few times, but it was more because I just wanted to sleep. I was resting, taking a nap, and then once I set an alarm, then I'll wake up and then just go. Okay, here you can see it's saying it's going to take 6 more minutes for the last percent. We'll see if that's true or if it's going to just say calculating for another 10 minutes or so. But if this is accurate, then yeah, they did improve it by quite a bit. I don't remember how long it took before, but I think it was more than an hour and a half. So that shaves off like 20 minutes from the full charge if that's the case. And again, if you're using this for actual use and not just doing a test like this, most people will just charge to like 70-80% and continue on to the next charger, because then you get a higher charge rate the entire time. It's like, for the most part, will be better, unless the next charger you're going to, it has like a very long off ramp or something, or inside a city that you need to drive much more. But even then, it's usually a lot faster to just charge to a lower percentage and then continue to a next supercharger. Okay, so now according to this, 4 minutes remaining. That means we'll finish 100% in about an hour and 5 minutes. And yeah, I think some of them it was like an hour and 40 minutes or so when I went from 0 to 100. Oh, someone's texting me again. Okay, sorry about that. 3 minutes remaining. Okay, so far it hasn't gone into the calculating thing. There's a Model S that's next to me that's been sitting there for quite a while. I'm surprised they haven't left yet. I wonder if they're charging to 100%. Alright, 99%, 2 minutes remaining. So it's gonna be within less than an hour and 5 minutes now. Wow, okay, it's dropping quick, so it's gonna be about an hour and 3 minutes. So we chopped off 30 to 40 minutes from the 0 to 100% charge time. If this is accurate, let's see. Now we're charging at 31 kilowatts. Normally the last percent, it drops like to almost nothing, like 9 kilowatt, 5 kilowatt, but it's holding at 31 right now. And now it says calculating, so let's see what happens. We're at just under an hour and 3 minutes. Usually at this point, if you unplug, it's going to show 100%. But let's let it calculate and see. We're charging at 31 kilowatts. Okay, I don't know how accurate this is, but if this is accurate, that means at 0%, I still have like almost 10 kilowatts of charge, maybe 9 or 8. So if you take it easy, what's that? Is that about right? 27 miles or so. I'll say if you just hit 0%, you'll maybe get about 20 to 25 miles, maybe. I don't know if this is accurate. But again, there's battery degradation, so there's that. And also I don't know if this is calculating for how much power's in the battery or if it's including the inefficiencies of how much power it actually drew from the grid. But so far we got about 114. You can see we're dropping to 26 kilowatts. Yeah, see, it's gonna sit here for a while, isn't it? Getting to an hour and 5 minutes. Well, if it finishes within another 5 minutes, it's still within an hour and 10 minutes. Or I guess if it finishes within 6 minutes, actually. Drop to 25 kilowatt, 24 kilowatt. Now it's just trickle charging to push in the last bit, I guess. Three kilowatt. Yeah, see, this will just say calculating for a very long time. and 6 minutes. Down to 21 kilowatts, 99%, still calculating. 19 kilowatts. Still calculating. About an hour and 7 minutes. Will it finish within about 3 minutes, or is it going to continue calculating? We'll find out. Again, if you unplug it right now, it's going to show 100%. So, right now, I guess we're just straining the battery, pushing it to 100%. Still 99%. Alright, give me a second. Someone's messaging me again. Still at 99%. Hour, a little over an hour and 8 minutes. Yeah, this calculating portion always takes forever. The Model S next to me is still charging. How is that possible? I mean, it is an older one. They have the moonroof, sunroof, whatever it looks like. Unless that's a dish. I don't know what's on top of their window. Okay, now we're 9 minutes. We're now down to 16 kilowatts. And still calculating. Recording for an hour and 10 minutes now. Alright. Now down to 15 kilowatt. Okay, yeah, I think the charge rate's just going to keep dropping and dropping. 15 kilowatt. We've been recording for an hour and 11 minutes, so I think we officially passed an hour and 10 minutes of charge time. We added 115 kilowatt hours to the battery pack. So yeah, if it's still 123 kilowatt hours, then we have another 8 kilowatts that we didn't use, draining to zero, because I just barely hit zero. Okay. If you're curious to know how many miles you have once you hit zero, there are a few other YouTubers that did that test, draining it till it died completely. So probably can watch those and then get somewhat of an idea of how much range you have after you hit zero. Keep in mind, those are from brand new Cybertruck batteries, so obviously you're not going to have that full capacity if your vehicle's been like driven for a long time already. Okay, it's been an hour and 12 minutes. Wonder how long this calculating is going to take. Again, technically I can just unplug it right now and it's already going to be at 100% once you hit this calculating portion. But I don't know if it really gives you much more range if you just let it sit at this super slow speed. You see we're at 12 kilowatts. It's charging at 30 miles per hour. So this last calculating bit is more like if you're taking a nap or something on a long road trip and you're just like, I'm just gonna rest here and charge it all the way up. Now, been recording for a little over an hour and 13 minutes, and we're still sitting at this 99% calculating. Drop down to 11 kilowatt. Basically my home charger speed. Alright, give me a second, getting messages again. Still calculating. Approaching an hour and 14 minutes. Dropping down to 10, 11. 10, 11. Sorry about that. Okay, it's been an hour 15 minutes. As you can see, this last 1% will take forever if you leave it until it stops. Down to 10 kilowatts now, 9 kilowatts. Uh-oh, my phone storage is running out. Nine kilowatt, 8:32 a.m. We've been charging now for, well, we've been recording for about an hour and 17 minutes. Charging for about an hour 16. I don't know if anyone would be sitting through this entire thing, just watching the percentage go up slowly. But there you go. Percent still, an hour and 18 minutes. Down to 8 kilowatt charging speed. Is it gonna eventually drop to 1? We're at 7. Approaching an hour and 20 minutes. Seven kilowatt. Still going. Alright, we've passed an hour and 20 minutes. Still calculating. We're down to 6 kilowatts. Wonder how much longer it's going to do for this 1%. yeah, definitely don't charge to the 100% unless you're just like wanting to take a nap. Still going. Alright, a second. Still at 99%, 5 kilowatt charging rate. Still going, hour 23, almost an hour 24 minutes. Down to 4 kilowatt. Approaching an hour and 25 minutes. There we go. Down to 3 kilowatts. Is it gonna go down to 1? The other Model S is still there. Jeez. Still calculating. Yeah, this last percent is going to take like half an hour alone. Down to 3 kilowatt charging rate. Still calculating. It's been an hour and 28 minutes since we started this video. Yeah, no point charging this last 1% for sure. Unless, again, you're just sleeping or you're shopping and you're like, oh no, I need more time, then change it to 100% and hopefully it gives you enough time. This last percent will give you a lot of extra time of napping or shopping or whatever you want. So I guess if you count this last percent, the charge rate didn't really change much at all. An hour and a half. Down to 2, oh, back to 3, down to 2 kilowatt. So slow, look, 5 miles per hour charge rate. Is it gonna hit 1 kilowatt charge rate? It's back to 3, oh, back to 2. It's been an hour and a half. Guess I can't. Kilowatts still. Still calculating 2 kilowatts. Hour 33 minutes. At 2 kilowatt. There we go. All right, now we're in 36 minutes. So that's it. Long video. Hopefully this helped you see the charge curve. But yeah, that's it. Let's unplug this and go. All right, see you guys later. One thing I forgot to mention is now the regenerative braking is actually gone. Usually I haven't charged to 100%, like 100%, but now you see this little icon here? Regenerative braking temporarily reduced. And it's actually quite, like, gone.